Hallo und willkommen zurück zu Folge 68 von If My Heart Had Wings und der 15. Folge auf Kotoris Route. Oh boy, zieht sich das. In der letzten Folge haben unsere Border wieder ein Training Camp begonnen, was effektiv gar nichts heißt, außer dass sie die Nachtwache machen. Und dabei auch noch darüber geredet, dass die Morning Glory letztes Jahr gar keine richtige Morning Glory war. Und dieses Jahr aber wahrscheinlich eine kommt. Okay, und am Ende ist AF Nachtwache gegangen. Das war's. Und am nächsten Tag soll es jetzt mit den Testflügen losgehen.
Oh, there they are. Hey, Ageha. Oh, isn't that my boy? And Akari-san too. Hello, Himegi-san. As promised, I'm here for the inspection.
Ach ja, das war eine Sache. Ich habe das schon wieder völlig vergessen, nachdem sie zum ersten Testflight gar nicht gerufen haben. Da habe ich es nämlich noch erwartet.
Hello, we were expecting you. Please go ahead and watch to your heart's content. So, where's this glider? Right now it's in the middle of a practice flight. It's pretty high in the sky. Let's see. Ah, there. Where? Here, use these binoculars. Thanks. Where are they? Look there, below that long thin cloud. Its wings are reflecting the sunlight. Can you see it? I glittered just now. This is it? It's the first time I've seen the glider in flight. It's pretty amazing. So high. It depends on the day, but in theory it can go above the clouds. Come on, my boy, take a look too. Oh, it's really flying. And it has no engine, right? It's flying really well. Who's piloting? Kotori.
Habani-san?
She doesn't need to use her legs to fly. She's flying with Ari, who teaches her. I see. Ah. Hey, that's bad. They are falling while spinning in circles.
The glider was falling towards the ground, spinning in a corkscrew. The field of vision was spinning, and we lost our sense of balance. Diese Musik ist einfach nice. G-forces assaulted our bodies while facing the outside of the turn. Deal with it calmly. You can do it, just like I taught you. First, set the ailerons to neutral.
Okay.
Kotori returned the control stick to the neutral position. Next, apply full rudder in the opposite direction to the spin.
Full rudder in the opposite direction to the spin.
Even before I gave the instruction, Kotori was already steering the rudder in the opposite direction of the rotation. And then she immediately leaned the control stick forward. Try raising the nose. That's enough for the main wings to regain lift. Finally, when the nose rose to the point where the airflow could run along the surface of the wings, the lifting power came back. When the rudder was returned to neutral, the glider returned to a normal flight as if nothing happened. Alright, recovery successful.
Puh. Alter, jetzt fliegen hier wieder so dumme Viecher an meinem Bildschirm rum. Ich hasse es. Boah, man kann einfach nicht abends das Fenster aufhaben, wenn man noch irgendeine Lichtquelle im Zimmer hat. Das sind nur meine Bildschirme gerade. Hier ist kein Licht, sonst nicht. Ah, ich hasse Sommer.
Manchmal. When we stabilized and looked at the scenery outside, Kotori sighed deeply in relief. It's not like we avoided an accident just now. I made the glider spin on purpose. That's because we're in the middle of spin recovery practice at the moment. We barely lost any altitude. Good job, Kotori.
As expected, there was more flustering than a normal stall.
Stall happens when the airflow peels off the main wings and they lose lift. Without lift, the glider will fall. However, if you know how to deal with it, recovery is possible. To learn this, you have to cause stall on purpose and practice the recovery. This is one of the most important training exercises for a glider pilot. The exercise we're doing right now involves recovering from a spin, a very dangerous situation among various stalls. A spin is when the fuselage rotates like a screw while falling. In the worst case scenario, you could completely lose control of the plane and have no choice but to escape using a parachute. Even though you were a little flustered, you still dealt with it quite precisely. Were you scared?
No, not much. I had the image of recovery in my mind. Maybe that's why.
I see. The stall can be very scary and can throw the pilot into disorder. Ich muss bei Stall halt einfach an Dan Memo und Precon denken. Ah, yes. Stall teams in PvP. It's terrifying when the airframe is rotating and falling, so it's only natural that you'd want to recover as quickly as possible. However, if you make a mistake in confusion, you can worsen the situation instead. It could even lead to the worst case scenario. Kotori could recover so quickly because she calmly assessed the situation and steered only as much as needed. To think she was so composed during her first spin recovery. I remember I was pretty scared and flustered the first time I practiced this maneuver.
I think I've got the hang of it.
Don't get cocky. If you forget how dreadful stalls and spins are, your reaction might get delayed. Stall recovery practice has two meanings. The first is learning recovery techniques, and another is familiarizing yourself with the indications that a stall or spin is about to occur. There are several signs. You can tell it from the meters, but it's also important to get the feel of steering or sense the G-force that is transmitted to your body. Ich muss sagen, diese Infodumps hier die sind auf dieser Route jetzt ein bisschen anstrengend, einfach weil so viele kommen. Das hätten sie echt mehr entweder über die Main Route gut verteilen sollen oder keine Ahnung. Ich meine, ich habe generell Interesse daran, aber das erweckt halt jetzt auch nicht so mega den Eindruck, dass du großartig was draus lernst und das ist für den Plot halt eigentlich nicht wirklich relevant. Da könnte man halt alle Details weglassen eigentlich. Deshalb ist es so, When you understand those and your body remembers the feeling, you can prevent stalls. Learning the recovery is very important, but it's always the best to avoid a stall. It's thanks to practices like these that saved Amane Senpai and me last year.
At that time, just watching it gave me the chills. Was it a downdraft?
A year ago we encountered a strong downdraft, suddenly lost lift and started falling. Even though we were taken by surprise, we still managed to level the aircraft. I think it's thanks to mastering all the skills during practice. Alright, let's find a thermal and head back up one more time.
Okay.
To continue this practice, we'll rise to a high enough altitude to where it will be possible to recover safely.
I see, so this was intentional. They're practicing recovering from those kinds of situations. They're doing dangerous stuff. It's alright, I will back her up if necessary. Still, flying high in the sky is pretty dangerous after all. They aren't coming down.
Yeah? Huh?
They are ascending to do it one more time. We don't have much time left.
What do you mean?
According to Amane Senpai's predictions, there's a good chance that the Morning Glory will appear within the next 10 days.
Morning Glory?
It's a long passage of clouds that stretches above the lake. Flying above it is our objective. It's that strange cloud from Mochizuki Senpai's framed photo, right? If Kotori is so interested in it, then she should be the main pilot. That's what we decided with I and the others.
Erstmal voll die Stimme verwechselt.
We still keep it a secret from her, though.
Well, just like last time.
We want to work her hard first and make sure she'll manage. I see, Habane-san sure has changed. She's completely different from when she first came to Keifu Academy. Have you known her since that time? Yes, of course. We were all...
Goddammit, schon wieder.
Yes, of course. We were all concerned when we heard that a student with disabled legs had enrolled.
Okay.
As expected, you were born to become the student council president.
Well, I don't think there's anyone in school who doesn't know her. She was famous for a super bad attitude. I know someone who's getting punched.
I know, right? When we got into the same class in second year, I didn't know how to... What? Who's coming here? It's...
She didn't punch him for that? How? Okay. Kotori, while turning inside the thermal, was gradually increasing altitude. I think it'll be enough soon.
I want to send a little more. Can we fly higher?
The purpose of today's training was to cover store recovery, and there was no reason to fly higher than this. But when Kotori asked it like this, I couldn't say no. Sure, let's try flying as high as we can. Catching thermals to fly higher is also an important practice after all.
Thanks.
Kotori flew the glider inside the updraft, climbing higher and higher into the sky, as if this was a place she's always wanted to go.
Cumulonimbus clouds can stretch up to the stratosphere, right?
If they are really big.
So if we got inside one, we could fly up to the stratosphere too.
You might be able to fly up there, but it's better not to try. In cumulonimbus clouds, things like turbulence, downbursts, lightning and such can occur. That's too dangerous. Ich dachte, Lightning macht bei Flugzeugen einfach gar nichts. Sagen es nicht to ground connected. Even jumbo jets will avoid cumulonimbus clouds if they can. Besides, the sky at these heights is like an unknown world for us. Even if we were to reach there safely, there's no guarantee we would return safely.
The sky is so high.
Das ist für mich irgendwie immer so ein dummer Ausdruck, the sky is high, weil Sky ist halt irgendwie basically alles über dir, so. Oder ab, sagen wir, keine Ahnung, 500 Metern oder so. Sky ist halt nicht eine Grenze, über die du einfach rüber kannst, sondern Sky ist basically das ganze Volumen von 500 Meter oder was auch immer bis Space, so ungefähr. Ja. And beyond it there's space. Kotori muttered, "Space, huh?" absent-mindedly as she gazed outside the canopy. Her profile looked like that of a child staring at something mysterious. Amane Senpai's eyes had a hidden curiosity of a young kid, but Kotori's had an even more childish impression. She just wanted it. Such a pure emotion is what came to my mind. You said that about me before. That I look the best when I'm gazing at the sky.
Yeah, it's true. You look so cool that it makes me sigh.
Well, as for you, I think flying in the sky like this suits you the best.
Isn't that so?
It makes me think this is the true Kotori. Kotori gave me a fleeting glance and asked.
The true me?
Yeah, I don't know how you were in the past, but that's just what I feel. Sitting behind you and flying like this makes me really excited. It's strange, but since I started flying, I've had a feeling that I got to know her much better. An expression that she has only when she is flying, a face only I have seen. By excited, I mean I wanted to get to know her even better and see more of her.
The true me.
Kotori muttered while thinking. Sorry, I said something weird during this flight. Forget it.
Okay.
I'll forget it. For now. Okay. Alright, we're high enough. This time cause the spin yourself and then recover.
Okay.
Then go ahead. As I instructed, Kotori steered the glider into a spin. After practicing so much, Kotori got tired, so we decided to land for a while. This practice put some strain on the fuselage too, so it needed to be checked up. Above the runway, the glider entered the final approach. The crosswinds are strong today. Approached the runway with the nose turned more into the wind.
Roger.
With Kotori's precise steering, the glider swooped down onto the runway safely.
Kotori senpai, oh senpai, welcome back. I'm back. I'm tired.
Kotori, who disembarked the cockpit and moved to a wheelchair, looked completely exhausted. Well, you flew quite a bit. I was also quite tired. We took more than enough safety measures, but the practice was still quite stressful.
Welcome back, Habane-san. Student Council President, you came. I was watching you flying. I think I understand why you are so engrossed by it. Right?
On the ground, Akari-san and Masasu, who came at some point, were waiting for us.
Just now we ascended to about 800 meters. Would you like to try riding it later too? Yes, but before that...
Akari-san had an awkward expression for some reason. Ageha showed up from behind her. Kotori, do you have a minute? Is it drama time again?
What? Age,
Huh? Kotori turned towards Ageha and got dumbfounded when she saw who was standing behind her. Huh? However, the person might have been even more dumbfounded.
Why, Hibari is.
Hibari-san was staring at Kotori in disbelief. Why? Her face was pale and her knees were shaking a little. At first I thought she was angry, but I quickly realized it was something else. Hibari-san was shaking with fear. Ist sie einfach so besorgt ihre Schwester? Kotori-chan. She called Kotori's name with a quivering voice as she approached her unsteadily.
Why did you... It's not what you think, Oni-chan. This is...
Kotori wanted to make an excuse right away, but she was at a loss for words.
You were... flying in that thing. Please calm down, Hibari-ne. Hear me out.
A sharp sound echoed around. Everyone nearby instinctively ducked their heads. It was the sound of Hibari-san's hand hitting Kotori's cheek.
Oni-chan. Did you forget how your body got like this?
Tears were mixed with Hibari-san's shout. Her knees trembled so much that it looked like she could collapse at any moment. It wasn't anger. It was fear.
I didn't forget, but this isn't a balloon. It's the glider we made ourselves. It's the same. If Mom or Dad knew, what would they do? Wait, anything but that. If Mom or Dad knew, they would... So you were well aware how they would react and kept this hidden. I'm sorry, but... Tell this to Mom and Dad.
Hibari-san said in the coldest voice I have ever heard from her and turned her back on Kotori. That's some overreaction.
Wait, Oni-chan.
Kotori tried to chase after her, but Hibari-san quickly walked away.
Oni-chan.
Kotori couldn't do anything but see Hibari-san's back and her vision blurred with tears. Und ich dachte, die Route wäre fast zu Ende. Haha, silly me. When we finished tidying up, we gathered at the office.
Where's Kotori?
She went home earlier. We should leave her alone for a while.
Well, yeah. So what's this all about?
After that, the mood wasn't right to ask about the circumstances, so we just tidied everything up in silence. While everyone was getting here, I escorted Kotori to the dorm. I only know that Kotori's legs got like that because of an accident. It seems that when she was on a trip, a hot air balloon she was riding had crashed. Apparently it was a trip to a popular tourist destination that offered these kinds of services. Ja, aber deshalb alles, was irgendwie mit Air Travel zu tun hat, zu verfluchen, ist so... Come on. Kotori wanted to ride it, so she got on it with her mom. Also, natürlich kann man generell sagen, so ja, im Glider fliegen, okay, aber and it crashed. Everyone only had minor injuries, except for Kotori.
Even so, Hibari-san's reaction wasn't normal. Yeah, she was shaking as if an accident happened right before her eyes.
At the same time of the balloon accident, Hibari-san and her father saw it from up close. When she saw Kotori getting out of the glider, it surely brought back the memories from back then. I knew that Kotori was hiding the fact that she was flying from Hibari-san. Ja, ich habe auch das Gefühl, dass da mal irgendwas war in der Richtung zwischen denen. Doch ich erinnere mich gar nicht mehr genau. I thought that she just didn't want to worry anyone, but...
There she reasons like that, huh?
I'm sure Kotori convinced Ageha to keep it a secret too. Hibari's-san knew about the soaring club, but she probably thought Kotori was only helping with maintenance and such.
I don't know her family circumstances very well, but I'm sure her parents would be worried if they knew their daughter was flying a glider.
Also ja, generell verständlich, aber im Zusammenhang mit diesem Unfall ist halt so, keine Ahnung, ich find's dumm.
When Hibari-san saw Kotori-senpai getting out of the cockpit, she turned ghastly pale.
Was ja viel verständlicher wäre halt, wenn Kotori deswegen irgendwie Trauma hat und sagt so, yeah, no. Das wäre Opportunities for Character Development. Das hier ist nur Unnecessary Drama gefühlt. Oder na, mal schauen, was wir damit machen, aber...
What should we do now?
I don't know. First of all, let's try talking with Kotori later. And then we can try contacting Hibari-san. I still couldn't believe that Hibari-san slapped Kotori. That she was that frightened. So diese Ohrfeigen oder so sind auch immer so keine Ahnung, so eine schlechte... Ich finde so einen schlechten Trope irgendwie. Wenn jemand es verdient, dann schlag ihn richtig und wenn nicht, dann lass es halt einfach. Boah. Ja.
Hat.
Quack.
What Oni-chan did made me really sad. Even though she's always thinking of me and is so kind.
Quack.
But I want to fly. I don't want to make Oni-chan and my parents worry, but I want to fly no matter what. So what should I do? Tell me, Hat.
Quack.
Why do I want to fly so much? I'm sorry about today. I showed you something unsightly.
No, me too. I'm sorry for keeping it off from you, even though I knew you were worried about Kotori. Okay. On my way home, I called Hibari-san to explain the situation. Why Kotori joined the soaring club. What kind of club activities she's involved in. Without hiding anything.
It's thanks to these club activities that Kotori-chan has become cheerful, isn't it?
Yes, I think so too.
But
I heard about the situation from Kotori. She's worried. She's really worried about you. She blames herself and is really sad. She said she'd try to call you when she's calmed down.
Thank you, Mina-san. I'll send her a message too. I'm too emotional right now. I don't think I could talk with her normally.
Yes, please send her a message then. I hung up the phone and sighed a little. I could see Kotori's bedroom window from here, but the light was off. Did she cry herself to sleep? Ist das eigentlich eine Sache? Tun Menschen das? Ich hatte halt zu selten irgendwie so Situationen, in denen ich keine Ahnung, so hart heulen musste, dass ich, also generell, und dann halt nicht abends, deshalb, I don't know, is that a thing? Ich kann es mir schlecht vorstellen, aber ich bin auch jemand, der generell Probleme mit dem Einschlafen hat.
Welcome home.
I'm back. When I stepped into the entry hall, I bumped into Kotori playing with Hat. She was smiling, but that might have been mere bravado.
Man, I'm starving. Come on, let's make something to eat.
Yeah.
And the twin sisters?
They wanted to eat ramen, so they're eating out today.
Ramen, huh? Sounds nice.
They were just being considerate of me, though. Huh? Says this. Kotori took the ingredients out of the refrigerator and quickly started preparing dinner.
Today we're having hayashi rice. We have to defrost the beef. As for the mushrooms...
Are you alright?
I wonder. Probably not.
Figures. Damn. Yeah, sorry. I knew that Kotori was forcing herself to act cheerfully. But it seemed that she did blow off some of her worries too.
When Oni-chan calms down, I'll try talking with her. I want to apologize for keeping everything from her. But I have to keep this a secret from my parents.
To keep them from worrying? Kotori shook her head. Dass sie nicht wieder mitnehmen oder so.
If my father discovered that, he would force me to move back into our house. That's why I haven't told them anything yet.
But if Hibari-san tells your dad...
I want to ask her not to. I'll set a deadline, the end of summer break.
Oof.
Then I'll tell him myself. Ich dachte, das dann quittet sie. If my parents would forbid me from flying the glider, then I'll resign completely. That means I'll retire this summer. I'll be like Amane-chan last year. Kotori. So don't tell them either. Yeah, got it. I'm always on your side. Thank you, Ai-kun. Even though she was smiling as she said this, large tears started overflowing from her eyes. Why did I start crying just now? Kotori tried to wipe away her tears with both hands, but they kept flowing. I'm so relieved to know that you are supporting me. You don't have to say anything. I leaned over to Kotori and hugged her gently. Kotori buried her face in my shoulder and sobbed. This was the first time One-chan hit me. I was so shocked. Hibari-san has always been so kind. Yeah, exactly. She's so kind. There's so many kind people around me. And yet, I'm so self-centered. I didn't say anything. I just brushed her hair until she cried herself out.